An update on the two new stimulus packages that have been introduced over the last 48 hours. I have all the details for you in this video, so let's get into it right now. We will talk about this package as well as the one that was introduced just a couple days ago. And we are kind of wide all this together and figured out what does this actually mean between these two packages. So, just earlier today, word come out that the administration, the president will be calling on Congress to issue yet again another stimulus package. Now, let's see what we know. As of now, we don't know all the details as far as what is it going to encompass. We do know the simple framework of the bill, which is they mostly want to focus it around the vaccine distribution, global vaccination, as well as feasibility. That's the actual framework of the stimulus package. There's always a lot of other things that are under the surface that we can usually take advantage of that. We that are usually not a headliner of the actual bill, just like a bill bag, better agenda, right? There are only like 5 different headliners in there. No even, but ultimately the package encompasses multiple different proposals and provisions. However, we are kind of waiting on the bill back better agenda as of right now, because we are working on these other two packages that were just introduced and called on. Now, the president is the one that will be calling on Congress to issue the next stimulus package. And yes, this is in addition to that other one that we just talked about 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. We are right back here talking about that other package that was being discussed and introduced by that small group of bipartisan senators and couple of Republicans, couple Democrats coming together, recognizing, hey, we've got to do something here. And they put together that $68 million package. And now here's what can we anticipate again. Both of these are still very new. The one up from the two, the group of the small group of bipartisan senators, that one was just released on Wednesday, so it is still very new. This other one that's going to be introduced by the president and called on the Congress to issue this package were just released a short time ago today. If they are actually compiled them together into one big package, that could be think otherwise they could potentially leave them as their own separate packages. Because we do recognize that sometimes these bigger packages, the multi-trillion-dollar packages, sometimes do have the hard time getting through Congress, and sometimes they actually have the better time getting through Congress if they're actually stepped up and actually sent through as individual bills. So we could go through it one at a time individually, or we could compile together as one big package. It completely depends on the speed at which we want to get this package through. That's number one. Number two, the focus of the package. So we might get bipartisan support for the first package, the $68 billion package that we talked about 2 days ago. And as soon as we start combining multiple different aspects and proposals within the same package, it starts to get a little bit convoluted and a little bit confusing to figure out. Here, what matters most Congress is recognizing and the president is recognizing. We need some extra stimulus right now. That's very important, because how many months have we been going along right now? And it has been like very confusing to many of us why they haven't actually done something. Now they are finally starting to realize that maybe we've got to issue some stimulus, maybe we've got some problems here, maybe we need additional a little bit infusing of cash for different reasons around the country, while they are finally starting to release this, and this could be very good things for the people. Here, what we can anticipate going forward, these packages will continue to develop as we got more information on these things, but they are still very brand new. As the result of that, but as the Congress continues to work their way through this, as the President comes out with his initiatives, his directives, and all these proposals, anything that we want to add into the package, we are getting more information on that here over the coming days. So, as we got more information on that, we can get a better idea of what's it going to be in these packages and final price tag on these packages. How soon they might actually be passed? Who is going to be encompassed in these packages? What is it going to entail? How quickly can the money go out? Will there be additional stimulus checks in there? All of that is things that we don't know the answer to quite yet. Now, it's time to bring all the details, the finished work, right? The windows, the doors, the screen, the drywall, or the other stuff that goes into it. So that's what we need to figure out now, is what is all the other detail that goes into this actual structure of the bill. So there's a lot of more to figure out what this thing, but I think the main thing that we need to focus on here too is how quickly do they actually want to get this package done. They want to allocate the sum for me. That's kind of a big call right here, right? Because usually what happens is the lawmakers come together, right? The lawmakers with their fancy briefcases and all their fancy stuff, and they come together and say, well, the six of us have come together. We have co-sponsors, and we come together with this bill, and we are introducing this COVID relief bill, or this stimulus package, or whatever they are introducing. So that's how it is usually introduced. Is group of lawmakers come together and they say, here's what are you introducing, what do you think? And they introduce the chamber, whether it's a Senate or House or whatever they introduce it, and then they will say, let's get behind that idea. Well, here we can have the president. This is coming out saying, well, the president haven't called on this yet. But the anticipation is that the president will be the one calling on the Congress to actually be the one to request this money out of the Congress. So this actually kind of big, because as soon as the president says something, almost immediately it's got 50% of the vote on his side, right? Because the president, Democrats and Democratic Party will pretty much jump behind ideas behind him. So let's do it right away, right? We are seeing this play out so many times, regardless of the party, and that's usually what happens, right? So I try to stay as right down the middle, as I can as just not partition as possible. But you also get to tell the truth here, and it just be honest what actually happens, and this is what happened. We all recognize that it could possibly take a weeks for them to get anything done, just because it's very slow process. Working through the legislative process usually take a week to hire, right? But anyway, over coming days here, we should be getting lot more structure.